Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing yet another movie review for you all, so hopefully you find this one interesting. This movie is a drama from Australia, English language, released in the year 2023, directed by Dave McCusker, and this film is called The Big Dog. So The Big Dog is about a broker. He's very successful. He has a nice house, a wife and a son. Everything seems to be going very well for him, but inside he is completely broken. There is a void in his life that is unable to be filled until he comes across a dominatrix online. This is where he gets into a fantasy world where he has to refer to this woman as Princess, and she demeans him at every opportunity, and he also gets off on the fact that she controls his finances. And so the wife is completely oblivious to this, and if this gets out in the open, it's going to have catastrophic consequences. And there is an event that happens that has a domino effect of bad luck, and this is where this man's life comes crumbling down. So what ends that point on? Something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on The Big Dog. My main criticism of Australian cinema is that a lot of it is made for TV garbage, where it's all about feelings and it's nothing about entertainment. So when I heard the synopsis for The Big Dog, no one ever really talks about this film. I thought it was going to be another one of those movies, but it was very cheap. I bought it. I thought, alright, well, at least a synopsis is kind of intriguing. So going to this movie with absolutely no expectations, I actually left The Big Dog surprised at how much I actually enjoyed it. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but it was a lot better than I was expecting. This does have a made-for-TV sort of feel to it, but it's also a very sadistic look at a man's life coming to pieces, crumbling apart. So you actually marvel at what's going on. You actually bask in all the deplorable sort of events that occur in this movie, and it's done in a way that is very darkly humorous, and so you feel very guilty for actually laughing at this man's world coming apart. But in the reality, it's actually quite shocking. But unfortunately, this is the facade of suburban life. You have a nice house, a wife, a son. You feel as though you should be happy, but unfortunately, if you reject your inner feelings, this is something that can happen. It's a ticking time bomb. It's a tinderbox waiting to explode. And when it explodes, I actually thought as though it was fairly entertaining. This movie does have a stage play sort of vibe to it. As I said, that made-for-TV feel that the movie has can play a negative effect, but I thought as though the script really maintained my interest, and so it does hold this film above water, and it never allows itself to drown. So I thought the main character especially, he had some likeable qualities, but there were deplorable acts that he did that kind of made you feel as though he deserved what he got, and so you're laughing at what happens, but then all of a sudden you feel really guilty because he's basically on the brink of losing everything. So how do you go from owning everything to owning nothing in the blink of an eye, and all of this happening in a day? I just thought as though, okay, the darkly humorous tone, it understands what it is to be a dark comedy, because this is the sadism that is thrown into the film, where you're basking at the depravity of this man's life falling apart. And so if you like that kind of thing, I definitely feel as though The Big Dog is going to apply to you. There are some funny moments in this movie, but it never goes to the border of ridiculousness. It's not actually a caricature of a comedy. It is just a look at a guy who had it all, but then it's slowly unraveling, and it's done in a way that, as I said, that it is actually quite entertaining. So that's something that I liked. I thought the acting was absolutely phenomenal, especially the main character and his wife. The son has a lot of issues that actually become present in this film that adds to the pressure of this man's life. And so it's like he's trying to hold his family by himself, but unfortunately the weight is getting too heavy, and under the pressure of that weight, he's doing things that have those catastrophic consequences, that domino effect, where it just completely falls down up into the really dark ending. So it has a very dark heart, and that's something that I appreciated most. It was a made-for-TV sort of feelings movie that actually dared to be a little bit different, dared to take a risk, and I thought for the majority the risk worked. If I have issues with this movie, I thought some of the characters, especially the dominatrix, could have been a little bit more, it could have been a little bit more layered. I thought her role was definitely taking a back seat. I just thought her character was non-existent. It was just there to add complications to this man's life. And so it's the man and his wife that is the draw card, but the rest of the characters I thought could have had a little bit more to it, and it could have actually evolved this movie into much more of a snowball than it does. But pushing that aside, it's still a movie that I would recommend if you're after movies that are very dialogue heavy, but dialogue heavy in a very impressive way, because the script is actually very good and it showcases the talents of Australian cinema. Then this is a movie I would recommend. Don't go out of your way to see it, because it just doesn't have that entertainment theatrical quality to it. But it is a movie that if you just come across it one evening, there are much worse ways to spend your night, and so that is something that I really appreciated about The Big Dog, and as a result of that, I'm going to give this film 3 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching movies, and I'll see you later.